Litecoin and Bitcoin at critical levels. What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. Hope everyone's having a good day. We're going to take a look at Litecoin, and then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the bearish scenario and then the bullish scenario. For those of you that have seen it already, I'm going to go over the Bitcoin to gold comparison charts. And if you haven't seen that, stick around to the end, and we'll take a look at why I believe that the bottom's in. And again, guys, there's no guarantees. Nobody knows 100%, but this is my opinion. I'm going to show you why my opinion is that we have hit bottom, and not to say we couldn't go down to a double bottom, but I do believe we have hit bottom. So stick around to the end and I'll show you that. I apologize for not making a video yesterday. I've been working a lot, guys, not getting a whole lot of sleep. So if this video is a little wishy-washy, bear with me. I've not had a lot of sleep, but I did want to get a video into you guys today, so stick around.
1, 2, 3, jump!
All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or any investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market can be extremely volatile and risky. It is still a speculative market, so keep that in mind. All right, if you're new here or you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. That'll get you subscribed, and then if you tick the little notification bell, that'll get you notified when I post new videos so you don't miss out on anything. And smash those likes, give it a giant thumbs up, leave your comments down below, let me know what you think of the video. Also, let me know if you're bullish or bearish and what your thoughts behind it is, and the reason why you're either bullish or bearish, and how you came up with your conclusion. I like to read everybody's opinions and different views. It's interesting, and it's always good to take a look at everybody's view. So anyways, looking at Litecoin, the daily chart, the falling wedge we had drawn here that we came out of sideways and been moving up slowly ever since. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit and take a look at what's going on. Like I said, we'll look at the bearish scenario first, guys. Even though my opinion is bullish still, but you have to be ready for the market to go either way, obviously, because nobody knows where it's going for sure. All we can do is analyze it and give it our best educated guess, pretty much. So with that being said, here's the channel that we've been riding in. We popped up out of it here, came back down in, popped up out again. Now I believe we'll probably get support off the top, but like I said, we're going to go to the bearish scenario first. If this was to break, our next area of support would be around the $47 range, and then I would expect at least a bounce up to back up to the $51 range, or possibly test the top of the channel again. And then again, guys, this is a bearish scenario, so this isn't what I favor, but we need to be ready for it just in case. And our next support would be $41 range, which would probably get us over in here somewhere, which would also be the bottom of the channel here. And if that was to break, then we would do a measured move off of the channel to where we would break out, and just assuming it would be over in this range somewhere, but that would get us down to the $22 to $24 range, which would be the double bottom area. And again, that's the bearish scenario. So now we'll take a look at the bullish scenario. And as you can see, this is my 21, my 13, and my 8 EMA. And then this is my 200 EMA, and here is my 55 EMA. As you can see, all my smaller EMAs crossed the 200, and we've gotten this boost up. Now, if this line's to hold, then obviously these will continue. Excuse me, guys. And what I'm looking at here in the bullish scenario, first we'll look at, I've had this $60 range in here for a while. All these targets I had one here at 56, which we hit. But also, my next target's at the $60 area, and I'll go into the 4-hour chart real quick just to show you how I got that. And again, guys, remember, we'll look at Bitcoin after this. So, the way I would get the 60 now is measure this as a bull flag here, or the flag pole, and then a bull flag. And we bring this over here to where we broke out, and that gets us to the $60 range. So that target's still valid. But also, if we break out of there, I think it's going to be a bigger break than that. I guess I can get rid of that old target. No. So yeah, I would think it would be a bigger break than that, and we'll look at the next targets and how I've gotten them. Excuse me. So let's zoom in a little bit. All right, now the next target I have is the $65 range, and that I got from measuring where we first broke out of the channel, and you would put that to where we broke out, and that's what got me the $65 range. I'm going to leave that there. I do believe that, you know, it could still be significant. So for the next move, we would measure this flagpole right here. Measure the length of the flagpole from where it broke out, and then we would put it up to the top of the flag where we would break out, and that gets us up to the $68 range. $68, $69 range, right in that area. And let's look at what I was looking at as the Adam and Eve, which is still possible. And if we look right here, right at the 41.30 range, that would be the neckline of the Adam and Eve. And if you don't know that, this would be an Adam and then an Eve here. And we would measure from the neckline down to the bottom of the Adam, and then bring it to where we broke up out of it. That also brings us in the $60 range. So that's another reason I'm you know, still looking at that range. Then the next thing we could look at is if this was a cup and a handle. I'm not too convinced on that, guys, but we'll still take a look at it anyways. And we would do the same thing, measure to the bottom of the cup if that was a cup. I don't know why that just popped up. But then we move it over to where it broke, and that gets me to the next target, which is around the $72 range, which is right here. And then we could take a look at this here. If this was a cup forming, you know, and this did break down and we caught support here and came back up, we would do a measured move from the top of the cup to the bottom, and then where we would break out. And that's what gets me up to, whoa, that's not what I was looking for. But anyways, I guess that could happen too if we was to break down here, and that would bring us up into the $89 to $90 range. We're going to put a target there just to keep an eye on it. And not to say that's going to happen, guys, at all, but we don't really know until we get more data and see what the market brings us. So I will put that there because that is a possibility. All right, now let's bring this back. Let me get this out of the way. Then we'll do the measured move for how I got the $80 range, and that would have been measuring this as the neckline for the cup and handle, and this being the handle. So let's do that real quick. And like I said, guys, I haven't been looking at the charts, and I've been working a lot, so I'm a little off today, and I apologize. But anyways, then we bring it up to where we broke out, and that's what gets us the $80 range. So those are my upward targets, guys. And I do want to go back into the daily. Excuse me. This is for Litecoin Master. He's been asking me to look at the golden cross that is coming for Bitcoin or Litecoin. And like I said before, my EMA is crossed here. Now, guys, again, I use my 21, my 13, and my 8. And then this is the 200. This is my 55 EMA, which is exponential moving average. I don't use, and everybody's different, and not to say it's wrong, but I don't use MAs, regular MAs. And if I'm correct, I believe he's talking about the 50 EMA crossing the 100 EMA. But this is what I use, so I stick by what I use because this is what's always worked for me. So, but we're still looking at a pretty strong golden cross here. And if you take a look at the 55 EMA, if it was to continue up, even if it was to drop down a little bit now, we would still be, you know, going in this pattern. Excuse me. It could, you know, even start going down like this if we were to go down. But then we look at the 200 EMA, and even if we started going down, no matter what we do, we're going to get this golden cross. We could continue on down and be right in this area when we get the cross. And if we do, I believe that's going to be really bullish, guys. But if we take a look at that, it's going to be towards the end of March. Somewhere from, I'd say, the 25th of March over is when we should see the bullish cross. And again, guys, that's, you know, I believe it's a pretty bullish sign, but I guess we have to wait and see what the data brings us to really know for sure what's going to happen. I need to get rid of this stuff now. So, all right. But anyways, yeah, that's what we're looking at in Litecoin. Like I said, I showed you my higher targets, and I do believe that it is very possible right now. Also, did I do the measured move off this? I don't know if I did or not, but we'll do it now. I do believe this could be a bull flag forming here, and if we were to break out, you know, that gets us up to the $69 range. So I did want to throw that in there. Now I'll take a look at the RSI. You guys, for the guys that have been watching my channel, you know I really like the RSI. Gives us a lot of clues of what's going on. Looking at the daily, I've had this rising wedge drawn forever now, and we're still staying in it. We got a little dip out of it here that looks like, you know, could have been like a, I guess you'd call it a bear trap on the RSI, if that even exists. But anyway, we could come back down and touch this, which would bring us down to touch the top of that channel that I was describing. And if it does break through, then obviously we're looking at the bearish scenario. But keep in mind, guys, in the daily, we can dip down here, and if before the end of the day, if it closes back up, which I believe that would be tomorrow, I don't believe we're going to drop down and go back in today. But anyways, this gives us plenty of room to go up on the daily still, and that's why I do believe we have more upward to go, and I'm still bullish here, guys. Now, do remember that after we get up, we will correct at some point, and hopefully we can catch it, and I can do a video on it where we're looking at, and, you know, go from there. So I'm going to take a look at the 4 hour, and I know the lines are kind of goofy, guys, but I had this symmetrical triangle drawn here that we popped out of, popped back in, popped out. So all these lines have been support. As you can see, this is resistance, 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 resistance. If we pop up through here, I do believe we got a good chance of continuing on up, obviously, the bullish momentum. But if we do get rejection here and come down, then obviously that's going to be looking towards the bearish scenario, guys. So I think that's about it for Litecoin. I'm going to go into Bitcoin now. Let me get my chart back open. And we're going to do the same thing. Just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button in the lower right hand side of the screen. Tick the little notification bell to get you notified when I post videos. Smash those likes, give it a giant thumbs up, and leave your comments down below. Don't forget to let me know if you're bearish or bullish and why. I would like to read your comments, guys. All right, looking at Bitcoin, I've got this falling wedge drawn here, and we zoom in. I hope the chart's not too messy. I tried to clean it up a little, and I tried to turn my support and resistance lines a little bit darker on this one, except for the bottom one I left yellow, but hopefully you guys can see this and it's not too messy. As you can see right now in the daily, we're getting support off of the EMAs right here, the 55, the 8, the 13, and the 20. Our 200 over here is way up here. So we're going to take a look at the bullish and bearish scenario of Bitcoin also. And first, we're looking at this symmetrical triangle here. And we'll do a measured move off that if we were to break down. Which obviously, if we broke down, I believe it's going to be in this range if we were to break down. Because I do believe, at worst case, we're going to come down and test this trend line again. We've tested it here 1, 2, 3 times, and 1, 2, 3 over here. So actually 2 over there, I'm sorry. And if we was to break down there, that would be, see, it lines up pretty good with the bottom of this falling wedge. But guys, usually when you break out of a falling wedge, you don't go the whole length of the wedge, and this would pretty much take us almost the whole length. You usually break out around the 70% range, which would be up in here. So that's just another reason I'm still pretty bullish here. And that's not to say we don't go down and come test this trend line, but that's going to be right around the $3,500 range. And if we break down below that, guys, you know, we'd be looking at the double bottom at the 21.23 or 31.23 area. And if that was to break, then we would be looking around the 23.50 range. And that's the measured move out of this triangle here. But now I'm going to take a look at the bearish or bullish scenario. We would measure from where we broke out, which would be right over here. And that's what gets me the $5,000 range, $49.90, somewhere in there, $5,000 range. Now, if we did that, we would be breaking above the 200 EMA, which, you know, would be way over here. So we would be up above it pretty well if we broke up there, guys. I'm showing you the higher targets now. We got to get through this this falling wedge here, the top of this falling wedge, before we can even think of these targets. So I do want to show them, though, because it is possible. And then I am going to also show you, just like in Litecoin, if we take this top trend line right here, which would be the 41.81 range, as the neckline of Adam and an Eve, we'll do a measured move there and measure to the tip of the atom. Pull it up over here to where we would break out if we were to break out. And that gives me the 52.50 range, which would also be old resistance over here, or old support over here. So that's what gives me those high targets, guys. And like I said, I do believe that is possible if we can break up and out of this, which I believe would happen within, you know, probably by the beginning of next week at the latest. We should know if we're going down or up. So this weekend may be the move out of here, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now I'll show you how I got the closer targets. Also, let's go into the RSI real quick. I'll show you what I have drawn here. I have this rising channel here, and like I said, we could come back down, and I believe that would be the test to retest. Let me show you the top of this symmetrical triangle, or all the way over to the bottom of the symmetrical triangle, which would be this trend line here. And I also have this trend line drawn in the macro chart, that I'm going to be comparing against Bitcoin that we'll be looking at. But this is, I really believe that we're going to hold support here. Again, guys, I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is my opinion, and I am going to give you my opinion. So anyways, let's zoom in a little bit. Well, first, yeah, let's look at the 4 hour. But yeah, I do believe, you know, even if we do come down and test that, we've got more upward momentum to go. So look at the 4 hour RSI. Pretty much the same thing, guys. Had this rising channel here, which we dipped out here, which is like a bear trap, and then back up in. And now we're kind of looking like we either want to come back down and test the bottom again, which I don't think. I believe we're going to continue up from here. Again, guys, that's my opinion. And I'm going to get back into the charts and take a look at my targets. So this here, the 39.70, this is a target I've had for a while. If we were to come up and, you know, that would, well, where we're at now, it would probably be a little wick outside of this. And this wedge line might not be exactly perfect, guys, but yeah, that would be there. And then if we do a measured move off of this here, if it, consider this a flagpole, and then this a bull flag here, we would move the flagpole length up to the top of there, and that's what would get us the 41.79, which obviously, as you can see, was old support, and resistance, resistance, resistance. So that's what would get us there, guys. And if we were able to get up above that, then my next target would be up here in the same range as the tip of this symmetrical triangle, which would be the 43.60, 43.70 range. And you know, this will probably take some time, guys. Remember this, we don't just shoot up to these targets. You know, we would climb in here, probably bounce around for a little bit, and then climb in here, maybe create a bull flag. And if we were to pop up over this, you know, that's when we look at these higher highs over here. As you can see, there's not very much resistance at all in here. It's just all open space. So once we broke this, I think it would be, you know, pretty quick shot up to the 5,000 to 5250 range. And then obviously if that happened, we would have to dig in, look at the data, and see where it would bring us next. So that's let me look at the EMAs real quick, see how they're looking on this. Like I said, they seem to be holding that support right now. We got to bounce off of the 200 EMA here. Yeah. So anyways, obviously that was the big wicks from earlier. But as you can see, all the EMAs are pretty crunched up right here. But we still seem to be getting support. And it does look like, let's go into the hourly chart and kind of, usually if you go into the smaller time frames, you can kind of see what's going to happen. It kind of leads into the next time frame. And it does look like the EMAs are coming back up here. I hope you guys can see this. I'm trying to zoom in where you can. But as you can see, my EMAs are ticking back up, and the 200, this is the 1 hour. So, but the 55 and the 200 are almost in a straight line here, and these smaller EMAs are all getting ready. They look like they want to cross, and if they do, you know, we'll get a nice little pump up. But if it doesn't, if these turn back down, then obviously we're continuing down further, which is definitely possible, guys. So keep that in mind. We had some good support here at the 38-33 range. Obviously that wick went way below, but I do believe that was just stop hunting going on. You know, this was to stop people's shorts, this was to stop people's longs. But yeah, it looks like we could be making a move up here, guys. I don't know if getting into the 15 minutes is going to help us at all, but I'll jump into it real quick before we get on to the Bitcoin versus gold. And yeah, as you can see, they all look like they're ticking up, getting ready to cross here. So yeah, we might be getting a little pump up here. All right, let's get into the Bitcoin to gold chart. We're looking at the Bitcoin chart on Bitstamp. This is the daily chart. And as you can see, this was the 2017 rally. And I've drawn a white dotted line from the all-time high across where we broke down from 6,000 and across. And then there's, on this second attempt when we came back up, I drew a solid line, the same, down to the 600 where we broke out and across. And then this yellow line here is the long-term trend line I have drawn. I also have another one underneath. You can probably barely see it, but we'll zoom in. And this one here is, you know, if this yellow one doesn't hold, then the white one's what I'd be looking at, the white dotted line. But yeah, this is Bitcoin, the daily chart. Now we're going to take a look at gold. And mind you, the gold's in a 30-year period, so a 25-year period, something like that. 76 to 2002. So yeah, around 20, yeah, around 26 years, something like that. But and I did the same here. As you can see, gold had a rally here back in 80, and I did the same thing. I drew the white dotted line from the all-time high across to where it broke down, which was around the 37 or no 30 or 390 range, and came down. And then it had the same thing where it come back up, attempted to go back up, and I drew the solid white line from there. And then there's the long-term trend line in yellow. And what happened, guys, after that, it was just a, you know, straight rally. And what happened here right in 2003, when this all started to happen, the gold ETF was approved, and that's when this all began. So, and if you know, think about it, they're trying to approve the Bitcoin ETF, and I know there's some people that think it'll be a great thing, some think it'll be bad, but you know, it was good for gold, so I guess we'll see. And also I wanted to point out that people talk about the capitulation candle, that Bitcoin hasn't bottomed because we need to see a capitulation candle. Well, this was a pretty big rally with a pretty deep bear market, and there was no capitulation candles whatsoever, guys. Nothing. And as you can see, the bottom was around right here, right in 99 to 01. And obviously this is a lot longer, but back then, if you remember, this was before internet and all that, so everything was nothing was nearly as fast as it is now. Now people have easy access to get on the internet. Information's a lot faster, you know, buying stocks, buying gold, buying Bitcoin, everything's easier and faster now. So Bitcoin is adaption rate can be a lot quicker, and obviously the emotion rate can be a lot quicker because there's a lot more people involved in with the internet and stuff. So yeah, that's, you know, just how I'm looking at it. I'll even go into the daily and we'll look for a capitulation candle between 99 and 2001. Take a look at that and see if we can find a big capitulation candle that everybody says we have to have. That's why I'm saying, guys, don't take my advice for, you know, guarantee at all by any means, because nobody really knows. And I suggest you do the same with all YouTubers, and you know, just do your own due diligence. But I do like to show my opinion on what's going on. There's probably a quicker way to do this, I have no idea, but we're getting there now. So yeah, we're getting up to the bottom, and like I said, this is in the daily, guys. And if you look, there is no capitulation candle, none. And like I said, that was a huge rally with a long bear market. There's no capitulation candle, so that just goes to show, guys, you don't have to, there doesn't have to be a capitulation candle. I hate when people say that, because, I don't know for sure either that it's over, but I feel bad for the people that are listening to them guys and they're waiting for that lower low that's just not going to come. And even if it did have a big, huge capitulation candle, you're probably not going to catch it. So anyways, that's that. I'm going to go into the monthly RSI. Whoops, that's the weekly. Well, I'll start with the weekly. Here's the weekly RSI. And this is 2013's bull run. And I drew the line straight down here to where we broke out, and then it continued on up. Same. Here's the 2017 bull run, 18 bear market, and now we've broken out. And, we could come up, come back down, obviously, just like it did over here. But just to show you the resemblance, it's pretty amazing. Anyways, let's go into the monthly RSI. And I've drawn 2 arcs in the monthly RSI. And I've also counted the lows in the bear market. So obviously this is our 2013 bull run, 2017 bull run, 2015 bear market. And if you see these arrows, those are lows in the RSI, and there was 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then kind of some sideways action, but it never hit lower than this again. Same thing here. Here's our 2018 bear market, 4 lows. And now we could just continue on sideways over to this area, all the way to July, somewhere in there, June, July, and then slowly progress up. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. So again, if you haven't already, hit the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. That'll get you subscribed. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. Smash those likes. Give it a giant thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you're bearish or bullish and why. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.